I'm sitting down here close to the fire because it has been such a cold start to the morning. Every time I think spring has properly arrived, winter rears its head again. It is not done with us just yet. It is Monday morning and I have got another busy week ahead. Now, this last weekend we spent most of at home. Usually on a Saturday we are straight off into the hills, but this weekend we had some other commitments, including doing some maintenance jobs around our daughter's school. That was a big kind of community event and it felt really good to be involved with that, to help out where we could. But it did mean that we didn't get our big weekend adventure and we spent most of the weekend at home. Now, I really do love being at home, even though we're in this very tired, dated, static caravan. I do love being here, but I do also find that I can feel a little bit stifled if I do not get my one day of the week away from here. So my task this week is to enjoy the homebody experience more. I want to really focus in on the little details of my life and find the beauty that is all around me. I do not by any stretch of the imagination have an exciting or glamorous lifestyle, but even here at the tail end of winter there is beauty to be found. That is what I am making this week all about. The big work task this week in writing terms is working through my final editing pass of my next book. It's called Shadow Dragon and it comes out in late May. Right now I am essentially doing a proofread. So what I'm doing here is having Scrivener read the book to me just to catch any final errors.
Voice note. She was used to her mother shouting and slamming doors. She was used to her.
Things are going quite slowly on the barn at the moment. What you can see behind me is piles of insulation and timber back there. We are waiting at the moment for our roofers to finish off the roof and we're waiting for windows to be made, and we're really just picking away at quite small jobs inside. So it doesn't feel like we're making a lot of progress right now. I'm consoling myself at the moment by coming in here and thinking about how it's going to look when it's finished. Obviously, it's just a grey box at the moment full of stuff, but this will one day be our kitchen. And down these steps, or what will be steps one day, will be our living room. But what I really love most of all is knowing this will be the view from our kitchen. Now, obviously, the caravan won't be there and the shed won't be there and all the piles of scaffolding and cement mixers. There will be this stone wall and the fields beyond with our alpacas and sheep in. Then there's the big ash tree, which is this one, the big sycamore over here, and the hills beyond, which are looking very atmospheric in the cloud this morning. This really is one of the biggest things I am looking forward to about the barn finally being finished. Good morning. It is now Friday. It is a day that I think you would call sunshine and showers, although it has mostly been showers so far. It rained really heavily overnight. There were really quite gale force winds and it honestly felt quite wintry, even though we are nearly at the end of March. Today is a work day for me. I probably only have a couple of hours of day job work to do and then I can officially start my weekend. If the weather holds, I would really like to go for a walk this afternoon, but we will see. This week turned out to be quite an uneven one for me. I started the week working really hard out on the barn. There was a lot of very physical work, carrying heavy materials, a lot of woodwork to do, and in the midst of that I made a pretty big shift to my writing schedule. Now, since the end of December 2024 I have had a very fixed writing schedule, working on one project in the morning and one in the evening. And I realised this week that that just was not working for me anymore. Life is too busy and trying to work on two things at once was feeling very overwhelming. I was feeling very tired, and it was one of those occasions when I really needed to slow down and listen to my body. I was feeling very burnt out, which I talked about in last week's vlog. I was tired, I was suffering from insomnia, I was getting headaches and spots and mouth ulcers, and I just overall felt very stressed and worn down. So I have switched back to a schedule that I used a couple of years ago with great success, just working for an extended chunk on one project at once. And it feels like such a relief. I feel so much lighter, which very much tells me that it was the right choice to make. So I will be carrying that forward into next week when April will be upon us. But right now, the day job awaits, and let's see if we can get outside a bit. It's Friday afternoon, we are home after a blustery but very pleasant local walk, and I've been reflecting on how much I have actually enjoyed this week. There have been frosty mornings and sunny days. I have worked and written and baked, and of course gone on some fantastic short walks. There was nothing exciting or unusual about this week. I spent most of my time at home. I saw pretty much no one outside my family, and I still really enjoyed it. And to be honest, this is what a lot of my weeks look like. I am very much an introvert. I work from home, and that was a deliberate choice. And actually, this week, it's made me think about something from school many years ago. During my GCSE years, I remember being taught how to write a CV. Now, obviously, this is a very useful skill. Although I work for myself now, that hasn't always been the case. But I remember one very specific piece of advice, that when you were putting your CV together and you were talking about yourself and your hobbies and interests, that you had to choose some that did not make you look like an introvert. So you could put that you attended a book club and a swimming club and went hiking with friends, but you absolutely shouldn't write that your interests were reading, swimming long distances on your own, and solo camping, for example. The goal was very much to make yourself look gregarious, extroverted, outgoing. These are all things that crop up a lot when you see job adverts. And you know what? In hindsight, that makes me quite sad. I have always been an introvert, and I think I was probably even more introverted at school. I was definitely very shy. And being told to hide that, to fit in with the rest of the world, to get a job, these days I would find that quite insulting, but as a teenager, that was just the message that I got pretty much every day. So if you, like me, are an introvert and a homebody, I just want to reiterate the message that there is nothing wrong with that. It is not something to be ashamed of, and I think we should be celebrating people who are quite happy, calmly sitting at home, working on their own, and are quite happy with their own company. And with that, I will leave you until next week. Thank you for being here, and I will see you next time.